Hey, it's MK, and I am here with a mixed media mayhem layout for you guys today. And today we are lifting this layout from Jody, who is the floppy-eared farm on social media. I am also mixing this up with Woodgrain and Winter. So today I have day 20's gifty from the SAR Advent Calendar, which is this adorable little family tree with all of the inner bits of the hearts that come along with it. My mixed media is this Altenew ink spray in sea glass and Distress Oxide Lost Shadow. I'm going to use the stencil from day number 4 of the SAR Advent Calendar. I decided to bring in a little bit of red. Now you won't see a whole lot of red, but if you see, my pictures are of my kids walking to the bus stop right before Christmas break in the snow, but my son is wearing bright red and, of course, a bright orange hat. I also have this faux Brad set from the Vintage Winter collection from Simple Stories, and then the tiny word stickers were all from the Christmas Lodge from Simple Stories. I have all of these cut aparts that were from my P13 paper maxi pad, I guess is what it's called, which is just wrong. I also have these holographic snowflakes from Stampin' Up. They are my last little snowflakes that I own. And then these 3 snowflake flare, they're not Brad's, they're flare, from the Scrap and Happy Studio. They're my last snowflake flare, came in a 6-pack. And then from close to my heart, I have this Wonderland paper that I don't actually end up using. Yeah, I brought it in because I was playing along with the Iron Crafters, and then because I didn't actually use it, I only use this one little piece where I've ripped off one little section. It still makes it almost a 12 by 12 layout. I'm going to use this to mat my photos. It's pretty much the only paper that I do use on this layout because there's mixed media behind everything. I did not want to double mat my photos like Jody did in her layout. Actually, I think she has them triple matted, or her photos have a white mat. I didn't look at it that close around the photos. I only took away what I thought I was going to use from the layout. For my wood grain, I have this from the Simple Stories Simple Vintage Winter Woods collection as well, but I don't end up using this as my wood grain either because, again, I didn't use a whole lot of paper and I didn't want to cut into this gorgeous piece of wood grain for just one tiny little thing. So I'm also going to be using the cardstock sticker sheets from the Winter Woods collection by Simple Stories. It was a collection from 2022, and I was just double checking to make sure that it actually had a year on it. I do like it when the collections have years on them because it makes me feel good to use up old supplies, mix them up with new supplies, or just use stuff up. All right, so I am going to fast forward this uber super fast because watching paint dry is the worst thing in the world. But it's fun. So I'm taking the Lost Shadow and I am just going through and kind of making it flow across my page. I wanted it to flow from the left down to the right, but then I wanted it to come back up over into the upper right of my right-hand page because I am stretching this across a 2-page layout instead of just doing a single page. So my left side layout definitely does do the left to bottom right diagonal, but again, I brought it back up going on to the right side. Now I do mix up my pages right here and I don't realize that until after I'm almost done with this particular page, but I thought this was my right page. I spill most of my my spray all over the table, so go me. And then, of course, I brought in a little bit of green in my layout because I don't clean my stamp blocks. So I have to cover up the green, I have to make all of this work, and I'm taking a block and using both small and big blocks because I did not want a big old huge blotchy footprint basically on my layout. Now, when it wasn't covering where I wanted it to, that's when I decided, okay, I'm going to use the big block. Plus, I have to use up all of this spilled ink. So yes, I'm going to try to use it all up. Now, here's the thing. Once I realized that my left page was my left page and not my right page, that's when I started using my bigger block. I'm also using a little bit of water to lighten the color so that way I have depth, I have light and dark. And then I also accidentally splash some of my ink into the upper right-hand corner where I did not want it to go. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to cover that up and make it look like I meant to do that as well. I also decided that I was not going to set up my photos and pre-plan where I wanted them because I wanted the layout background to be drawing while I am matting my photos. So I have no idea what this is going to look like, how much of the mixed media am I going to cover. I mean, I just really had no clue what was going on. So in the end, this is what my pages look like. I love Altenew Sea Glass when it is dry. Look at that gorgeous blue color. It is just so pretty, and having all of those layers helps a lot as well. So I'm going to put my tree right here because that is where the green happened. Because I forgot to wash my block. I didn't forget, I just don't wash my blocks. And green transferred from the green that I used a couple days ago to when I re-wet it with the spray. So here's my wood grain. It's a tag from a Not Just for Boys packaging. Yes, that is exactly what it's going to be. I'm going to take my inner bits of hearts and I'm going to trace out what I thought was 5. For some reason, I only have 5 inner bits of hearts. And so I thought that there was only 5 on the tree. Did I design this? Yes, I did. Did I remember how many hearts I put on the tree? No, I did not. I put 6 hearts because I have 6 people in my family. But of course, I actually have 7 people in my family. I have 6 people that live with me currently. But I do tend to leave out my oldest daughter quite a bit. Don't tell her that, but I do. And it's not intentional, I swear. It's just always when you go to a restaurant, you always say that there's 6 of us. And, well, I always say that there's 6 of us. And yeah, I have to count if it's any higher than 6. Like I literally have to count heads. But for some reason, I only had 5 of my little hearts. I'm missing one somewhere. I must have dropped it. It must have got lost out of the packaging. Something I do not remember. So I had to go and cut a 6th little heart out. And then, of course, I will be using the inner bits of the hearts as well. I just wanted to back my hearts with something else other than, the paper that I'm going to be using, right? My background paper. So, and now they stick out like crazy. I love this. And it also brings in a little bit of that dark to help with my son's photo because what he is wearing is awfully dark. And red. So I do need to bring in a little bit of red that matches as well. I'm checking out the sticker sheet, but realizing that I forgot about all of these flowers that I fussy cut. I know how time flies so fast when you're making a layout. So I'm going to scatter my flare all the way around because I knew I wanted a little bit of snowflakes because it's foggy and snowing and my poor children have to walk down to the end of the street to wait for, to the end of, not the end of the street, but the end of the driveway to wait for the bus. Oh, poor them. I always make fun of them because they could be the poor child down the street that actually has to walk to the bus stop. He's about 5 houses down and we see him walking by all the time. And then that's the kids' cue saying, oh, I got to go too, Mom, because now he's in front of our house and it takes that long for him to walk to the bus stop. So that's how my kids know that it's time for them to walk outside and go to the bus stop. Isn't that sad? They're terrible children. Absolutely horrible. So I'm going to go ahead and scatter all of these white poinsettias. And I loved the little blue poinsettias. So I took all the white and the light blue ones and decided to use them on this layout and just make a very airy layout. I'm going to tuck in all of my snowflakes. And when I first decided I was going to use this tree, I was actually only going to use the inner bits of the hearts and put them in the center of my snowflakes. And that was going to be the rest of my layout, right? I was just going to use the inner bits. And then I thought, well, that doesn't make sense because I'm really supposed to share with you guys how I'm going to use the tree on the layout. And when I started putting the tree in with the poinsettias, I really liked how it flowed around my fussy cut out flowers. I mean, it just looked so pretty coming out in between these poinsettias and all this stuff. I liked how one of the poinsettias has the little red berries, because that'll help me bring in a little bit more of the red that I wanted to bring in from the little sticker sheet that I believe was from Christmas Lodge, you guys. It could have been from another Christmas collection, but I don't remember at this point in history what it was called, because I only picked up bits and pieces of it. I didn't pick up papers or anything like that from that collection. I only picked up stickers and I think something else. Yeah, I think it was just a sticker sheet. All right, so I'm going to put the hearts in between or in the center of all of my snowflakes. I thought that was a really cool touch, but again, I only have 5. I have six snowflakes and only 5 hearts. So if I find the 6th heart, it will go in the middle of the 6th snowflake, I promise. But right now, that is where it's going to stay. Then I'm going to add my red tags, and I will cover them up so they're just a little hint of a tag. They're not really going to be sticking out like that, especially this one that says Christmas Wishes, because it's not really Christmas, so it will be covered up here shortly. I do have a couple of tiny word stickers that kind of say love, wonderful time of year or something like that. I can't really remember what they say, but it's something to do with the weather more than it is the Christmas or the season, right? So I've got that. It might say favorite time of the year. It might. I'm not sure. Festive time of the year. I don't know. And then, of course, I've got winter, a bunch of winter little sayings on this winter sticker sheets. So I really do like that. And basically all this is my kids' last day going to school right before Christmas break. And it was a half day, early day. And I love when they go to school and it's all foggy like this outside. Lately, when they go to school, especially now, it's not foggy, but it's dark. Like my kids are walking down the driveway and it is pitch black outside, and all you see are we don't have street lights. We don't have street lights, but porch lights and things like that, headlights, stuff like that. So one of these days I'll take a picture of it so you can see. But of course they went to school for the last time already for winter, right before winter break. So, but I'm sure if I remember, I will take a picture. Hopefully we'll have snow by then, but this one was just gorgeous. I love a good fog, you guys. I know I've talked about it a lot. I don't like driving in it, but I do love enjoying it. I love the blanket that I feel like, I'm in my own little snow globe and nobody can see inside. I don't know. It's just so cool. I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of these brads, just 2 little green brads, tucking them in here and there, and that is pretty much it. I thought I was going to use the Chill Out little brad, but then I decided I've got a lot of words on here already, and that is it for today. I love how it looks. I do like making backgrounds like this, but I don't like making them solid. I probably would not have had a hole right there between, above the tree if I would have drawn my around my photos first. I probably definitely would have had a more accurate. I do like how I fixed my oopsie and my splash of paint. I just added a little bit of flowers up there. I do have a fingerprint down at the bottom, but it is a-okay. It's not bothering me one bit because it doesn't actually look like a fingerprint. It looks like a splatter, but it's down below instead of where it belongs. But yeah, it just really doesn't bother me at all. So yeah, I'm super happy with how this layout turned out. I love doing whimsical layouts like this that, really they're just super fun photos, but yet there's, no rhyme or reason. There's really no story behind them. There's really nothing except for this is what my poor children have to walk through to get to the bus stop at the end of the driveway. Oh, heaven forbid. All right, you guys. So Jody, thank you so much for allowing us to use your layout as inspiration. It was so much fun to recreate your layouts. Also, too, don't forget to check out the other playlist that I have down below for the Woodgrain and Winter, even though my wood grain was very, very light today. But it is still, I still use wood grain. very small piece, but I still used it. And then, of course, don't forget to check out Janet Fritz's channel. She is my partner in crime when it comes to Woodgrain and Winter. So she is Galaxy Girl Creations here on YouTube. And thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll check y'all later. Bye.